we talked about maybe 10-15 minutes ago. So back to above normal. We like that, and we're going to stay there for a couple of days. But I will say by the end of the week, that's where we do break down those temperatures a little bit more, and that's also where we introduce some rain chances, which we are starting to get in need of, as we haven't seen much since really the middle of August. We've dried out, maybe just a couple hundredths of an inch to maybe a tenth or two in some places, and so we should be seeing more, but we're still going to go to this drier pattern. So the cooler air from the weekend is moving on out, making way then for a ridge, that big blue H over the Four Corners region. That's going to amplify some of those temps as far as the Midwest goes. And so it won't be hot by any means, but 80s, so a couple of degrees above the normal. Normal right now is about 78 to 77 degrees. And that's exactly where we're going to trail backwards down in that regard as far as our Saturday time frame. And that is where the jet stream kind of wobbles over us. And so a little bit more of that active pattern, meaning the rain chances. Now, we also have a west wind aloft, and so that is driving in. So more of that smoke here. So that's that hazy sky we're seeing. We have that warm front coming through right now. That's pushing out the clouds, but it's also pushing in some wildfire smoke again aloft. Now, because of the low and the warm front working together for areas where it's passing through, well, that's where some of that smoke could be reaching the surface as the day keeps going on. The good news is I do expect it to get better as far as tomorrow goes, but maybe still in some areas a little bit even through our Wednesday. It depends on the timing of that. And even then, here's that air quality map. You can see where the moderate air is for the most part in the southwest to southeastern Montana, and a little sliver in the Burt County realm. But here's that low. Here's the warm front. This is where those warmer temps are still sliding in. So it's this rinse and repeat cycle the next couple of days. 80s today, 50s tonight, 80s again on our Tuesday, 50s again for our Wednesday morning, and I think you could guess Wednesday 80s again. So it's the same stepping stone that we will be seeing, all because of that ridge that's building. And so that leads us to our 7-day temperature trend here for the work week. 80s by the weekend when we start to introduce that trough again. That's the 70s in the forecast. But look at the long-term forecast here. We're favored to be above normal. Let's keep going for the next 2 weeks above normal temperatures. But remember, you have to put it in perspective because our normals are starting to slide on down. So that's going to be the change. Now, when you put all of this together, though, once we see that trough rebuild, the warmest day of the work week on Thursday, this is where we're going to see those shower chances. Right now, Sarah, we could see maybe half an inch or more for those into the west of Highway 83, which is going to be helpful because we haven't seen much, even though I know it's harvest season. We don't need a lot of it, just enough.
Just a little.
Just a little bit.
I really love those numbers, Heidi.
Yeah, summer continues if it does.
Thank you, Heidi.